Our dear friend, Sister Kathleen Feely, who's going to introduce the artist here.
Hello, everybody. I'm very delighted to be here today. It's so unusual that I can do this, and I'm just delighted about it. I have been given a beautiful painting. The painting is by Rudolfo Zea, and he's sitting here. He's going to speak a minute about it. But I met Rudolfo because I was the teacher of his wife when she was in high school. We reconnected, and she introduced me to her husband and took me to one of the art shows where he was showing his work. And I was just so moved by what I saw. And the artist was standing right next to me, so I could ask a couple of questions, which I really need. I'm not really an artist, so I loved it. And then all of a sudden, out of the blue, Rudy said, I would like to give you a painting for Christmas. I said, yes. I mean, I'm just overwhelmed. Nobody has ever given me a painting in my whole life, so. He said, I haven't started it, but I have an idea what I want to do, and I hope to have it finished by Christmas. Yeah. Christmas Eve, he came with this painting, and I was overwhelmed by it. I've had it in my house for about 2 months, no, maybe 1 month, and he gave it to me to give away, to give to an organization that I revere. And the painting itself fits with the Asadi Women Enterprises where I volunteer, because these are all women out of their homes here trying to make a new life in the United States. Asadi is trying to get asylum. So that's where it is eventually going. But I thought it would be really nice to have it here for 2 or 3 months, because these are all my friends too, and I love Renaissance. So even though the subject, I think, fits better with the Asadis, the painting itself will draw your gaze and admiration. So I want to introduce Rudy to you, because we're going to take the cover off, and he's going to speak just a minute about it, because I didn't see things he saw, and I want you to see them. So, one more minute. Okay?
Thank you. Thank you.
Walking people.
My name is Rudy Zea, and it's an honor and a pleasure to talk to you. It's an honor and a pleasure to talk to you. It's also a trip down memory lane, because I grew up in this area. I attended St. Mary's Elementary School and just Martin Avenue, just a short walk from here. And I played in the fields of Notre Dame College, as it used to be known then. I later went on to from St. Mary's to Loyola High School, then Loyola College, as it was known then, and ultimately I studied art and psychology. I studied art in the Maryland Institute College of Art, focusing primarily on portraiture, and then I went on to get a PhD in psychology at Catholic University. So I'm from this area. I'm not a native son, but close enough. Anyhow, I became interested in Leonardo da Vinci during my tenure as a psychologist, when I worked with some colleagues on some protocols for the government, for the Department of Justice, actually, on victim identification. And we were able to develop a portrait of Leonardo da Vinci as he might have looked when he was at the height of his creative powers. The portrait was developed from the Turin portrait that many of you may know is the one that he is reputedly to have painted and to have drawn. He drew it in red chalk. And these protocols have it's a method of being able to identify the bones of the face through a photograph of the person, and conversely to recreate what the person would look like just from the bones of the face. So we took the Turin portrait and took the flesh off, saw that it was that he was missing his front teeth, and we lowered the jaw appropriately and put the flesh back on. And lo and behold, we were able to recreate an image of what Leonardo da Vinci would look like. I painted his portrait, and I hope to donate it to the Renaissance program. After all, this is the Renaissance program. So anyhow, regarding this picture, let me talk to you in terms of technique and composition. In terms of, let me begin with elements of both. Leonardo da Vinci, in his study of optics, was able to realize that our dimensional view, that is to say, being able to see things far away and close up and being able to differentiate the two, was due to the little differences in perspectives between our right and left eye. Of course, you can't paint the problem of painting a figurative and landscape painting is how to put a three-dimensional effect on two dimensions. And he realized that you can use other cues. And the cues that he thought about were the complementary and contrasting colors, the yellow and the blue, the red and the green, the purple and the orange, etc., as is found in the color wheel, which I think that he also invented, having read some of his notes. These notes are found in the Codex Leicester, the Codex Atlanticus, the Windsor Collection, and other places, because Leonardo never systematized his observations even though he wrote down everything that he wrote, that he painted, or that he realized in terms of anatomy, etc. He never systematized his notes. But if you can read Italian, you may read them in these works. Anyhow, in terms of the composition, you see the Virgin Mary and the child. The Virgin is not the Regina Caelis, that is to say, the Queen of Heaven, as is found in many Renaissance paintings, but just a simple young woman, a girl who, in spite of her poverty, of having had this child, and in spite of her persecution, as in the persecution of the innocents, is looking lovingly and joyously at her infant. The infant is not the infant of many of the Renaissance paintings in which he is depicted as blessing the world, as if a baby could do that, or the bright luminosity. He is just a Semitic child, perhaps having been born a few days before, still assuming the big fetal position. And he is lying there, illuminated essentially by the light of the moon. Now, both life and literature and music and art all make use of metaphors and similes. In life, perhaps, these may be inscribed in early memories of one's youth, as with me when I was playing in a field right close to here, that field that is now used as an athletic field, and just west of that beautiful little cemetery. And it was just a group of young boys, maybe 12 years old, playing football, when suddenly a huge dog comes out of the bushes, and he runs towards us. So what do? We just run away from it. We drop the football, but the dog, and this is how big he was, picks up the football in his mouth and starts running the opposite way. And to a person, we all stop, we regain our courage, and run after the dog. So that's a little metaphor for when I find myself in trouble, it invariably comes to me. But at other times, when I find myself in trouble, Mother Mary comforts me, as the song says. And I revert to saying, Hail Mary, full of grace, etc. Even though I haven't been a good Catholic, I must admit. But anyhow, so what are the elements of the painting? First of all, her veil seems to melt, or at least in my effect, with a river behind it, which I sought to make a metaphor for her goodness and her care comes through the world, and ultimately it mingles with the light from the moon, and I wanted to symbolize that it ultimately came from heaven. Leonardo da Vinci painted a portrait of St. John, which is a metaphor, and most critics seem to say that there is no clear explanation. But there really is. For me, the explanation is, or the metaphor is right in the painting. It is St. John pointing to the sky and clutching his heart, looking lovingly out at people. The message for me is that the Word of God is inscribed in the hearts of men, or that the way to heaven, after the skies, is inscribed in the heart of men or women. And that he is clad in with a pelt of a lion, just like Hercules. But this is not the warrior. This is a kind and gentle person looking out at you. So, but in this painting, as you can see, the light of the moon is essentially glowing over it, and that's my composition. So that's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
And sister, we're gonna hang the painting right at that.
It's going to be hung right in the corridor here, right outside the door, so you have an opportunity to really look carefully at it. And I'm very happy to have the chance to present this to you for a couple of months, and I thank Rudy with all my heart for my first gift of a picture, like a painting like this, and I hope you will love it as much as I do. Now, I know you have to get back to your lunch in your next class, so that's it. Thanks.